Bryshere Gray's story is one that moved very fast. He started from a difficult place in West Philadelphia, performing on the streets and working different jobs to support himself and his family. At that stage, there was no clear path into the entertainment industry. His situation changed when he met Charlie Mack, who later connected him to Lee Daniels. Through a FaceTime audition, Gray performed a rap and was given the role of Hakeem Lyon on the Fox series Empire. That moment marked the beginning of his entry into a much larger and more demanding environment. By 2015, Gray was already part of a major television production. He worked alongside well-known actors such as Terrence H and Taraji P. Henson. His role on Empire gave him strong visibility, and his character became closely linked to his public identity. The show combined music and drama, which allowed him to grow both as an actor and as a performer. This exposure made him widely recognized within a short time. However, the speed of this transition also meant that he had to adjust quickly to new expectations. Moving from street performances to a structured industry setting introduced pressure, attention, and new types of relationships. The entertainment industry operates through layers of management, influence, and control, and young talents are often required to navigate these systems without much time to adapt. In Gray's case, this environment became part of the conditions that shaped his experience. In recent years, public discussion about his life has been influenced by statements from Jaguar Wright and Terrence H. Jaguar Wright has made claims that Gray was exposed to powerful figures such as Will Smith and Sean Diddy Combs in ways that she describes as harmful. According to her, these interactions were presented as mentorship but involved control and abuse. She has also claimed that there is evidence, including documents and recordings, although these claims have not been confirmed by official investigations. Terrence H, who worked with Gray on Empire, has also spoken about what he observed during that time. He mentioned situations where younger actors were called into meetings with influential people. He described an environment where there was pressure on rising talents to make certain decisions in order to stay relevant. Howard also stated that he tried to warn Gray about the people around him, showing his concern about the situation. These statements have shaped how people now look at Gray's journey. His career is often discussed as both an opportunity and a risk. On one side, he achieved rapid success and became a recognized figure. On the other side, there are claims and concerns about the environment he was part of. It is important to note that the more serious allegations remain unverified, but they continue to influence public opinion. At the same time, Gray's current situation is based on confirmed events that have been widely reported. After the end of Empire, his life began to move away from acting and toward personal and legal challenges. These developments have changed how his story is understood, shifting attention from his success to his struggles. Overall, Bryshere Gray's story is not defined by one single event. It is shaped by his early rise, the people he worked with, the claims made by others, and the real issues he has faced in recent years. These elements exist together, creating a situation that is still being discussed without a clear conclusion. As Bryshere Gray's career progressed, the public focus began to shift from his early success to the circumstances surrounding his personal life and the claims made about his time in the industry. What had started as a rapid rise through Empire gradually became a subject of concern, shaped by both his own actions and the statements of those who worked around him. Jaguar Wright's claims form a central part of this discussion. She has stated that Gray was introduced to powerful figures, including Will Smith and Sean Diddy Combs, under what she described as mentorship. According to her account, these interactions were not supportive, but instead involved control and abuse. She claimed that Gray was used in ways that benefited others in the industry, while causing long-term harm to him. Wright also said that Gray's behavior in later years, including his legal troubles, was connected to what he experienced during that period. She went further by stating that there was evidence to support her claims, including documents and recorded material. She described a situation where Gray was allegedly assaulted while others were present and suggested that legal agreements were used to prevent the issue from becoming public. These statements have circulated widely, but they have not been confirmed by any official investigation or legal finding. Despite this, they continue to shape how people interpret his situation. Terrence Howard has also added to the narrative, although his statements are more focused on what he personally observed. He described an environment where younger actors were brought into contact with influential individuals in ways that raised concerns. According to Howard, there was pressure on rising talents to comply with certain expectations in order to maintain their position in the industry. He suggested that this type of environment could affect individuals who were still adjusting to their new level of visibility and responsibility. Howard also mentioned that Gray faced personal challenges, including ADHD and bipolar disorder. He implied that these conditions may have made him more vulnerable within that environment. In his view, the combination of industry pressure and personal struggles created a situation that was difficult to manage. He stated that he tried to advise Gray about the people around him, but the broader circumstances continued to develop. While these claims and observations gained attention, Gray's own life began to show visible signs of instability through documented events. One of the most widely reported incidents occurred in 2020 in Arizona, where he was involved in a domestic violence case. The situation escalated to the point where law enforcement, including a SWAT team, responded after reports that his wife had been assaulted over several hours. This incident marked a major turning point in how his situation was viewed publicly. In 2025 and early 2026, additional legal issues were reported. Gray was linked to an assault and battery case in Chesapeake, Virginia, following an alleged altercation with an associate. Reports later confirmed that the charges were dropped after the individual involved chose not to pursue the case and instead supported the idea that Gray needed mental health assistance. This detail added another layer to the situation, showing a pattern where legal issues and concerns about his well-being appeared together. Footage and reports from that period showed Gray spending time with the same associate after his release, suggesting a complicated relationship rather than a simple conflict. At the same time, there were increasing reports about financial difficulties and unstable living conditions. These developments further shifted the narrative away from his earlier success and toward his current struggles. The combination of unverified claims and confirmed legal incidents created a complex situation. On one side, there are serious allegations about what may have happened during his time in the industry. On the other side, there are documented events that show a pattern of personal and legal challenges. These two elements are often discussed together, even though they come from different types of sources. As a result, Bryshere Gray's story at this stage is defined by tension between what is claimed and what is confirmed. The storyline continues to develop through both public statements and real-world events, without a clear resolution. Bryshere Gray's situation is shaped by two parallel realities that do not fully align, but continue to be discussed together. On one side are the confirmed events that have defined his recent years, including multiple legal incidents, public records, and reports about his personal struggles. On the other side are the claims made by Jaguar Wright and the observations shared by Terrence Howard, which describe a deeper context behind his rise and decline, but remain unverified by official authorities. The documented facts present a clear shift from Gray's early career. After the end of Empire, his presence in the entertainment industry reduced significantly, while reports of arrests and legal issues became more frequent. The 2020 incident in Arizona, which involved a domestic violence case and a SWAT response, marked a serious turning point. The later case in Chesapeake, Virginia, further reinforced concerns about his situation, even though the charges were eventually dropped. In that instance, the individual involved emphasized the need for mental health support rather than legal punishment, which introduced a different perspective on the events. These confirmed developments establish a pattern that is difficult to ignore. They show a movement away from professional stability toward a series of challenges that involve both legal and personal factors. Reports of financial difficulty and unstable living conditions add to this picture, suggesting that the changes in his life are not limited to isolated incidents but reflect a broader decline from his earlier position. At the same time, the claims about exploitation and control remain part of the public conversation. Jaguar Wright's statements present a narrative in which Gray's experience in the industry contributed directly to his later struggles. Terrence Howard's comments, while more limited in scope, support the idea that the environment surrounding young actors can involve pressure and influence from powerful figures. However, without verification from official investigations, these claims remain unproven and cannot be treated as established fact. The connection between these two sides of the story is often assumed rather than demonstrated. The existence of legal problems does not confirm the allegations, and the allegations themselves do not provide direct evidence for the specific incidents that have been reported. Despite this, the two are frequently discussed together, creating a narrative that blends confirmed information with speculation. This overlap has shaped public perception, even though the sources of information are fundamentally different. Bryshere Gray's case also highlights a broader issue within the entertainment industry, where rapid success can place individuals in environments that are difficult to manage. The transition from limited visibility to national recognition can introduce pressures that affect both personal decisions and mental health. In Gray's situation, references to ADHD and bipolar disorder have been mentioned as factors that may have influenced how he responded to those pressures. These conditions, combined with the demands of his career, form part of the context in which his later actions are understood. Despite the volume of discussion, there is no clear resolution to his story at this point. The available information shows a contrast between early achievement and later instability, but it does not provide a single explanation that accounts for both. The claims of exploitation remain unverified, and the confirmed events do not fully explain the reasons behind his decline. This leaves the narrative open, shaped by both fact and interpretation. What remains clear is that Bryshere Gray's life has moved far from the position he held at the height of empire. His situation now is defined more by legal records and personal challenges than by professional work. At the same time, the conversation around him continues to grow, driven by both documented events and ongoing claims. The long-term outcome of this situation will depend on factors that are not yet fully visible, including his ability to address the issues that have been reported and the extent to which new information may clarify the unresolved aspects of his story.